From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
The construction of Baxter Lane has been a long process in Bozeman. I'm Kristen Merkel, and I'll tell you when this road will be completely finished.
Decorating a Christmas tree can be a lot of work, but I'll introduce you to a Butte woman who decorates more than 70 of them.
I sure hope nobody was underneath.
I was gonna say, I really don't trust John Amy decorating a Christmas tree, especially with glass ornaments.
If there's one thing about a John Amy stand-up, it's always going to be a fun time. You always got to watch.
I love it. All right, good morning, Southwest Montana. 6:32 on this cloudy but warm Tuesday.
Absolutely. I mean, that's kind of the theme, at least for the beginning of this week. It's warm, and we got some cloud cover, but we do have a chance to see maybe some of those clouds disperse throughout the day today.
She's going to go poof.
We're trying to. We are sure trying to, Edgar. Now, let's take a look at these forecasts for right now. Now, we're assuming that most of Southwest Montana will be hitting about that average degree mark. Now, breaking it down a little bit more into futurecasts, you can see all of those clouds right now. That's what's going on at this very minute. As we move it forward throughout the day, you can see those clouds start to disperse a little bit, and then come tomorrow, it is going to be clear. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous tomorrow with some warmer weather and some clear skies. Now let's break down the Bozeman day planner. We are going to have some of those partly cloudy skies with some sun peeking through. That's going to bring us some warmer temperatures, and compared to yesterday, Edgar, with all that cloud cover, it'll be nice to see a little bit of sunshine. Now Butte, one thing to keep in mind, there's a little bit of wind in your area, but that wind is really going to help get those clouds out of the area. By 4 o'clock, it should be fairly clear in the mining city. We're going to break it all down in the forecast in about 10 minutes.
It's been a headache for many people in the Bozeman area. Baxter Lane has been closed for months, but now that construction is wrapping up and the road is nearly complete, our Kristen Merkel explains what work still has to be done and the upgrades that will affect some traffic.
After months of construction, Baxter Lane is now finally open to through traffic. And residents who live on this major road say the construction has been a long process, but it's needed.
It's Bozeman, it's growth.
Eleanor Swanson lives on Baxter Lane. She says the road construction and new roundabout have its pros and cons.
Our house behind you there is in a bit of a pit, and it didn't used to be. The crossing lights, we were happy that they were coming so our kids could cross safely, but seeing it in reality, it's a lot of boxes and equipment, and it just looks a little different than we'd imagined.
The project extends Cottonwood Road from Oak by the new high school all the way to Baxter.
That will now be a much needed relief valve to get some traffic off of Flanders Mill in particular.
Director of Transportation and Engineering with the City of Bozeman, Nick Ross, says Baxter Lane will be fully open to traffic by the end of this week.
We're working as fast as we can. We got to get the street lights energized and some of the final pavement work complete. But as soon as we can get all that done, we're going to open the roundabout to traffic.
He says the city understands the project has been challenging.
We appreciate everybody's patience. We know it can get very hard to sit through the delays, but we've got a very short construction season in Southwest Montana, and we appreciate sticking with us.
For Swanson, she doesn't have any complaints, but she is glad the work is finally starting to wind down.
Everyone was working really hard and trying to accommodate us, and for the most part, I don't have any complaints.
In Bozeman, Kristen Merkel, MTN News.
This morning, a man is in custody in the Lake County Jail facing attempted murder and a murder charge after 3 people were shot at a Lake County home on Sunday night. 1 person died and 2 others were injured in the shooting, which happened at a residence in Ferndale. This is just southeast of Kalispell. Lake County Sheriff Don Bell says that emergency dispatchers received a report of a disturbance involving a man with a gun shortly after 9 p.m. on Sunday night. A short time later, an additional caller reported a man being shot by the man. The accused shooter, a 49-year-old Matthew Vidic of Big Fork, was later taken into custody. The 3 victims were later transported to a local hospital. One of the victims, 56-year-old Tammy Jordan of Big Fork, died in the hospital. The identity of the other 2 victims has not yet been released, but Sheriff Bell reports that they are in stable condition this morning. The case remains under investigation by the Lake County Sheriff's Office, and it's expected that Vidic will make his first court appearance sometime later this week. And in Cascade County, commissioners will hold a meeting this morning about a topic on their agenda that sparked some tensions between county commissioners and the clerk and recorder, Sandra Merchant. On Monday afternoon, protesters gathered outside the Cascade County Annex in protest of Commissioner Joe Briggs' proposal to strip the election duties from the clerk and recorder's office and appoint a new staff member to handle the elections. Briggs said that he has concerns that he heard from his constituents that an elected official should not oversee an election process. Well, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas at One Butte Senior Center, and our John Amy reports it's a labor of love that takes weeks to accomplish.
Throughout the year, more than 70 Christmas trees are stored here in the basement of Big Sky on Waterford in Butte. Now, they may start here, but they end up here on all 3 floors of this senior center, so its residents can enjoy a literal Christmas forest.
There you go. And now we just have to do about 70 more of them.
For the last 13 years, Carolyn has been decking the halls of this senior living facility with dozens upon dozens of Christmas trees for the residents to enjoy. She begins right after Thanksgiving, and it takes her about 3 weeks to complete.
I like to do my work at night because in the morning it can be a Christmas surprise. For days and days and days, they go around and say, oh, what tree did she put up?
Many residents appreciate the nostalgia the decorations conjure.
We always had good Christmases, and I love Christmas and the trees and all the decorations.
You know, each resident can find something, one tree, even if it's one ornament hanging on a tree that really speaks to them, and to see that smile on their face, and they may not have smiled in a really long time, really means a lot.
Carolyn has a few helpers, which makes the work go smoothly after all these years, though sometimes...
Oh, I have more.
Oh, no, oh!
Accidents happen.
And can you imagine just living in this beautiful place, but then it's covered with all these decorations, and it's so nice. So my mother-in-law just gets to step out of her apartment, and here they all are.
This seems like it's a lot of work, but it must be just rewarding to you, huh?
The work is, you know, when it's something you love, it's not work.
The community is invited to see Carolyn's work at the Parade of Trees on December 19th from 3 to 6 in the evening. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
As fighting intensifies in southern Gaza, there's growing concerns about the plight of hundreds of thousands of civilians who have already been displaced multiple times. Our Scripps national correspondent Ben Shishimo has the story of a nurse who lost her home in northern Gaza and is now sheltering in the south.
Since the beginning of the war, Raja Mosleh has lost her home and multiple family members.
We lost everything. We lost everything. They left nothing for us.
But not her job as a nurse and as the local director for Med Global, an international NGO, even though, like most Gazans, she has been displaced over and over again.
If you ask about the period that I spent in Shifa Hospital, actually, I'm still traumatized.
After her house in Gaza City was bombed in October, she took shelter with thousands of others at Al-Shifa Hospital. First outside the hospital, and then when Israeli forces surrounded it inside the operating room.
It was like a nightmare. I see children's without legs, without arms.
Mosleh says one night she tried to comfort a young dying girl.
She asked me, "Do you see me?" I said, "Yes, I see you." She said, "I cannot see you." She is become blind because of the fire. I'm stay beside her bed until 4 a.m. and after that, unfortunately, she passed away.
Ultimately, following orders from Israel, Mosley evacuated on foot to a camp in Al-Mawasi in southern Gaza.
We take maybe 6 hours walking.
Nearby in Khan Yunis, Gaza's largest southern city, she helped set up a new and much-needed medical station. But Khan Yunis has now become the site of fierce fighting between Hamas and Israel, and Mosley wonders how long can she survive, and if she does, how many times will she be displaced again?
It is very miserable, very difficult, and I hope this finish soon.
Ben Shamiso, Scripps News.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Jane has a quick look at your forecast, and we'll have headlines after the commercials.
I'm John Matarese. Remember when a wedding registry meant blenders, toasters, and fine china? Those days are gone. I'll show you what couples are asking for now.